Many organizations today are migrating from on-prem solutions for email, calendar, and communications to Microsoft 365. If this is you, this is your productivity cloud across work and life. This is designed to help you achieve more with innovative Office applications, intelligent cloud services, and world-class security. These are critical processes, workflows, and activities which Microsoft 365 provides you with limited visibility. And this is not something that you or your business can afford to not be aware of, that being their statuses and impact that it will and can have on you and your customers. Splunk brings you the ITSI content pack for Microsoft 365, so to enable you full visibility into the performance, availability, security, incidents, and messages across these cloud-based Microsoft 365 services that you are running your business on and your customers are dependent. This content pack provides 6 glass tables to provide persona-based results, these being executive, IT operations, business, DevOps, and security. Also 13 real-time dashboards, 49 plus services, 390 plus KPIs, all of which have been quickly configured with our provided technology add-on, so to deliver you and your key stakeholders results out of the box and in minutes. My name is Todd DeCapua. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be an overview of our ITSI content pack for Microsoft 365. Let's take a deeper look now. One of the areas that I wanted to share with you as we get started is what is the current view for customers that are using Microsoft 365 without Splunk and without the 365 content pack. So as you can see, what I've come into is the admin portal for Microsoft 365. Specifically, I wanted to look at service health. So this is one tenant we've set up, it's Ollie. And as you can see, we come in here and very quickly we can see that these are all the different Microsoft 365 services that are available to us. And we can see that these are marked healthy. Some of these, though, have some advisories. So, for example, if we looked at Exchange Online to understand what are these advisories, we can learn more about what those specific advisories are. Are there any incidents that we have? No. Is there any history that we have? Oh, there is some. Look at that. Have we reported any issues? No. Let me look at all services again. So now as we come back here, we can start to see the same activity for each of these different views. But maybe we want to understand something more about what's going on within our Azure Active Directory. So as you see, we click on that, we're now pointed to a different portal. This is for the Azure portal. So now as we come in here, we're presented with another dashboard. And this dashboard for our same tenant, you can see there are a variety of users. There are sign-ins over time, but I'm not sure where these are from. I also wanted to look at some more information. Maybe I need to click here to look at my Active Directory. So now if I come into this specific view, you can see my overview is loading here. And this shows me my number of sign-ins over time to Active Directory. What are my different users and how do I manage them? So now you can see that populate. Well, let's see if we can go back. We want to now diagnose and maybe solve some problems within our Azure environment. So there's a number of different troubleshooters, some common problems. Again, there's a lot of things here that I guess I need to view guidance on, but there's nothing that's really coming up or showing me anything at this time. But that's Active Directory. If we go back to our service health view and see what's going on, maybe we can look into Exchange specifically. Let's see what's going on here. So this is loading another portal. This is our Exchange admin homepage. And we'll go ahead and learn about this later. Maybe we want to look at some of the mailboxes. So now we can see the different Exchange mailboxes. We can look at the groups. We can look at a different migration batches. Don't believe there's going to be any there. Maybe we want to look at some mail flow reports. So we could look at an inbound message report. We can see that there are some here. And there's also a classic view that we could look at more. But again, that's how we look at Exchange. You can see the same for SharePoint. Also, we could see the same for Teams. So here is some of our SharePoint file activities, site usage, and we can see down here we have some messages that have come through in regards to our SharePoint service. Why don't we take a look at Teams and see what's going on here. Again, we're able to see another dashboard. Skip this tour, but you can see that there's no activity. There's something here we need to configure, it would appear, to maybe get some other results. As we look into some of the other bits here, what you can see is also there's a security space. And then down the left-hand side, there's a number of different views, but this is kind of that dashboard. Another piece that we can look at is threat management and see what this dashboard looks like. So again, we're now in dashboard for security. If we wanted to look at compliance, you can see what compliance looks like here as well. And there's a variety of different bits that we could drill into. So if we looked at reports as an example from a compliance perspective, and see what we see there. So again, wanted to show you a quick view. If you're an existing Microsoft 365 customer and wanting to navigate not only your service health, but a few other elements, we've looked at security, compliance, Azure Active Directory, as well as Exchange, SharePoint, and Teams. This is just a quick overview. You can see the variety of portals that you navigate to go ahead and see what that looks like for you as an existing Microsoft 365 customer without Splunk. So now we're within the content pack for Microsoft 365. One of the first ways that many of our customers interact with the content pack after they quickly set it up and configure it with our TA is through Service Analyzer. So again, this is within ITSI. And as you would come in, what you're going to see is how we've organized this to make it very simple for you to not only see and also be aware and alerted and notified, but also what is going on behind the scenes. So as you can see in this structure, the way that we've set up the trees, and I guess first, let me show you that there is in fact a tree view as well as a tile view. Depending on who you are and how you're using this may also depend on what view you like to see. The tile view provides you with kind of what it says, a variety of different tiles. And what you can see here are the different services underlying. And then the top 50 KPIs we also share with you. So again, the way this relationship is there's services, and then there's multiple KPIs often tied to a service. So as you can see, and again, all of these we could click into for more information and more details, but this is a very quick view as to the status of the services and the KPIs across your Microsoft 365 environment. Now, if we come into the tree view, this is one that I often see most people navigate to directly. And what you can see is in the structure, we've highlighted 6 of the major applications within Microsoft 365, Yammer, Teams, SharePoint Online, Power BI, OneDrive, Exchange. And we've also made sure to include Azure Active Directory. We've also got a security group. And then also you'll see other Microsoft 365, or this is the total of those app availability metrics. So as we would look into each one of these, you can see for each there is an availability as well as a performance element. So if we took SharePoint, for example, and we found availability, we want to see what the availability of SharePoint is. You can see these various statuses. So right now we are showing some service degradation. Well, where is it that those services are being degraded? And as you can see, it is spread evenly across all services within SharePoint. And these are known as entities. So very quickly, you can see what is going on. Now down here, we've got some different alerts that are happening. So we have a M365 threat management within security. We can see that there is something going on there as well. And you can see right across the top, we've got a number of issues that we may want to address. Some of these are potentially malicious URL click was detected. So again, that was within an email. Malware campaign detected after delivery. And again, very quickly though, you can now see these are threat management opportunities, severity levels being assigned. And again, what are those different values? If you were to click here, we can see specifically that entity. So this is Service Analyzer. This is out of the box. And again, a quick configuration on the TA. This all lights up with your data for your tenant or tenants as you would see that available for you. Another area that I would like to highlight for you today is around glass tables. This is another way that many of our customers, and again, as we think about those different personas that we had mentioned, you can see that these are tailored to those. So whether it's an executive view, a business leader view, IT operations, DevOps, security, those different personas all want to see a little bit different information. However, make them all available and easy to navigate across so that you can quickly look at, identify, and resolve issues going on in the environment, or at least be able to understand what is going on and then communicate and manage appropriately. So as you can see, there are actually 7 glass tables listed here. This middle one is something that is going to be coming soon. So we'll ignore that one for now. But as you can see, these other 6, we've got the executive overview. We have an overview dashboard. Then we have a security overview dashboard. In addition, there's details for incident and messaging dashboard, which you will see here in a minute. And then on the security side, we have one focus just on threat detection and another one on threat management. So coming immediately into our M365 executive overview dashboard, and to go ahead and make this just fit a little bit more easily, what you can see we've done is we've highlighted for what many of our customers are their top kind of 7 applications or services that they want to see here along the bottom, along with a rolled up average in the middle. And then we have a security view. And then this is the overall M365 app availability. So that is the full suite that you have available to you on your tenant or tenants. And again, this being that executive overview where you just want a quick picture into everything that's going on. Now, I will also let you know all of these are clickable. So as you would click onto Exchange, just as an example, you'll be taken back into our Service Analyzer view and dropped immediately into MS Exchange. And again, you can see this example and what we have available to us there. If you wanted to look more into availability, you can see everything available from an Exchange availability perspective. If you wanted to look into performance, you can see all of these varied services and KPI names and click into these for more information as well. So again, going from that executive view into the details, any of these are clickable, will take you directly into those relevant views. So now let's move from the executive overview and we'll go to our next glass table. This view is our M365 overview dashboard. So again, a number of different personas will find this extremely valuable, probably looking more to the business leader, maybe more towards someone in IT operations, somebody in DevOps, These will be those personas that will most likely want to understand what is going on here and specifically the underlying services. What you can see here, we have our performance and availability views. So again, across all of the 7 major areas of concern, and you can see the performance and availability score coming in from each of those. Again, these we can click into if we would like to. In addition, we have incidents and messages. So incidents are active and ongoing issues. So we can see there's 4 different statuses that Microsoft has identified for us here. Messages are showing, things that they're planning to change, how we're going to be preventing or fixing issues, and then just things to be informed about. Again, this providing a very quick summary of all of these different activities that are going on, whether they're incidents or messages. And again, you can click on these, take you right into additional details for you as well. Up here, we've put things in around logins. So wanting to understand the successful logins as well as logins that have failed are critically important to you and your business. Where these logins are coming from may also be something important. So now we can see how many people are logged in by country on this map. As you would click into these, you would specifically see what attempted logins here that failed, how and why. So again, from a security perspective, that may be interesting, but more so your IT operations kind of tier 1 through 3 are going to want to be able to quickly see what is going on here. And again, how does that look from a trend perspective? As we move down here, what you can see are the KPIs that we've brought in specific to the 6 major applications that most people have in their tenants with Microsoft 365. These being Exchange, OneDrive, SharePoint, Yammer, Power BI, and Teams. Under each one of those applications, we've identified key performance indicators, and we've set these up for you in this glass table so that they will report out, again, relevant information over time and show those trends to you. On the left-hand side, you can see there's an overall health. So this is the overall M365 health that you have set up and configured. And then down at the bottom, we have security. So there's an overall security measurement that we're showing, as well as threat detection, threat management. And then we've also brought in information governance, permissions, and mail flow, given that these are all critically important security functions. So again, this being the M365 Overview dashboard. As we move to the next glass table, this is where we can get down into some more of the details from that summary that we just looked at. You can see these are the service incidents and messages. On the left-hand side are the incidents, on the right-hand side are the messages. These various views make it very easy to see, where are the existing investigating areas, what's going on from a service degradation perspective. Same thing for service interruption, and of course, your services that have been restored. You can filter these however you would like across the top, of course. And then down here, if you want additional information, all of these are available. All of these are clickable and will take you directly into greater detail if you would need that. As we move to the next glass table, this is our security dashboard overview. So again, this may be the overview that your CISO or a CTO or a business leader would have available to them, as well as into your NOC. And what you can see that we're looking at here more specifically is a lot of details. However, we have been sure to bring over this summary view, which is on the bottom right corner, showing you the overall health, as well as your security overall, threat detection, and threat management, and then the performance and availability view that you've been accustomed to now seeing. And all of these, again, all clickable elements that will allow you to click immediately into additional detail. However, what you can see is there is a lot of detail on this view. Most importantly, everything that's going on from a threat detection perspective for authorization and login anomalies. If this is NA, there is no data available yet, which is a good thing. If there are issues that are going on potentially, so we have some risky sign-ins. You can see right now we're at 69. You can see the trend. So this is actually a downward trend. But if you wanted to learn more information about that and specifically what is looking risky, you can just click on that and it'll take you into the more detail for you immediately. We did feel like this might be a little bit too much or a little bit too busy, even though there's a lot of valuable information. So as a result, we broke out two additional glass tables. One just focused on threat detection. And again, this layout, threat detection being the largest view here, security overall, so you can keep an eye on it, as well as threat management. And again, these are all clickable to take you into the other details. The overall health, as well as performance and availability across those 7 main functions. And then down here below, these are the specific details of threat detection. We've done the same thing for threat management, same exact layout. Of course, these metrics are all specific to threat management, but you can see how nice and easy and simple this is across these varied glass tables that we've made available straight out of the content pack to you. Another way that many of our customers have found immediate value in our content packs are through dashboards. What you can see here is we've gone ahead and packaged up 13 dashboards out of the box for you to be able to leverage. We've added several of these on top of what was already available in the prior Office 365 Premium app. And again, we've replaced that with this M365 content pack. So we've taken all of those dashboards and then added several others to complement them. And what you will see in these is a huge amount of value. I've gone ahead and brought all 13 of these up for us, but I'm going to quickly cover off on a few as highlights, and then I will simply click through some of the others for you. Most importantly and foremost, I wanted to pull up the M365 Overview dashboard. So again, what you can see here are the same major components that we've been looking at, starting with Active Directory to understand the active users. And again, what does that look like on a trend line? You can see some of the failed logins that have been occurring. As we also look further to the right, what's going on within OneDrive, how about SharePoint, same thing with Exchange, Teams, and then the overall workload status and where the degradations may or may not be happening within our tenant today. And if we wanted to look into some more details and specifically where is that, we can see that right now within Microsoft Staff Hub, we have a service degradation going on. So again, this being the first dashboard that I wanted to highlight. Another one is the Azure Active Directory Overview. And you can see, again, some very similar what's going on from a risky sign-on. Right now, we don't have any logon errors. As far as some risky sign-on errors historically, we can see that we had 994. We could zoom into that and look at a little bit more detail. We also had some login errors, authentication methods. So how is it that people were authenticating into our environment? Where did these logins come from geographically? We can see the users, we can see the types of errors that were incurred and also the countries that they had come from. Some of the geographical improbable access. So again, this is where you look at that distance. We've presented it here in meters, and you can see the time difference in hours on attempts and the distance associated in the speed that they would have had to travel to make that doable, and some of the original locations attempted. So again, I can go through all of these, but you can see a massive amount of information and data here available to you. Not even at a click of a button. It's just right on the dashboard. You can click into more details for many of these charts to listen and learn as to what's going on across your M365 Active Directory environment. As we move to the next one to highlight, OneDrive. So again, kind of going into a little bit more detail of some of the summary that you'd seen prior. This is our upload download activity. This is where that activity is coming from by geo. Again, who are the users? What's going on here? How is that object being manipulated from where? So again, a lot of information showing you what are those activities, what are those files that are being accessed all through OneDrive. Another one we wanted to highlight was in Power BI. Again, what are those active workspaces? What are the active reports? What are the active data sets? What are the active dashboards? How does all that compare to last week? And again, you can see a lot more of information being shared here, even a by user breakdown as to what activities they are doing and how this might be extremely relevant and helpful for you across your M365 environment. So I'm going to start moving more quickly. You can see here's a SharePoint overview, some of the same data elements you're used to seeing, an Exchange overview specifically, as well as a OneDrive file investigator. You can look into some additional security alerts that would be made available to you through this dashboard. Also, there's a activity audit. So you can see I selected a user here, Marie, hit submit, wanted to understand what activities she had within Teams over the last 24 hours. And we can go ahead and see that she did in fact start a session. Another view is the Teams overview. So again, much like you've seen in some of the other dashboards, very similar layout, a little bit different data elements, but again, these being very relevant to Microsoft Teams and providing you that overview. Some additional security monitoring available in this dashboard, overall usage and adoption of Microsoft 365. This provides you with a lot of detail and availability of what's going on across your environment and what different geos that you may or may not know from an adoption perspective, and where usage is coming in your environments. And again, what specific workloads and their statuses and the service degradation details that are available for those services. Lastly is an M365 user audit. So if you wanted to quickly go into a specific user and understand a little bit more information, or like we have here, these are all users across the 24-hour time period and all activities, as you can see what these different operations are that they can be performing as well. So again, a lot of information coming to you from these 13 different dashboards, all shipping with the Microsoft 365 content pack. Another question that we often get is, how is it that I get this data into Splunk so that I can leverage the content pack? And what you'll see here is the Splunk add-in for Microsoft Office 365. And as we would go into this, you can see that we have it configured for a variety of different types of inputs. We are able to name those inputs. What are the specific tenants? What index do you want to write that into? What interval do you want that looking for new data? So again, this is the main input data space so that you'd be able to configure those. You also can see these different tenants. So to go ahead and set up a tenant, you would come simply into this technology add-on, and we come in here, we can see the existing tenants, how they're configured. If you wanted to edit one of your existing ones, you simply click edit here. If you needed to delete it, you can do so there as well. Or if you want to add a new tenant, again, come in here, name them, fill in the details. If we wanted to look at a completed example, you can see again how these are completed with your specific tenant ID. Of course, if you have a client secret, you have your token, we need to go ahead and populate these elements as well. But again, very simple and easy to do through our technology add-on. Again, this one specifically was originally created for Microsoft 365. We've made some edits in the Microsoft 365 content pack offering. So there will be an updated technology add-on to go with that content pack. But again, this is the technology add-on. You can see that there are some settings that we've also enabled you to configure here as well to make it very easy if needed. But again, most of our customers are leveraging both input and tenant to go ahead and configure and set up and then get the data in from your Microsoft 365 tenants that you have, and make it very, very simple to do so. So one of the other pieces I think that's important to highlight is kind of the flow that many of our users will take through a content pack like this. And as we would be looking at different elements that are going on here, maybe I want to look more specifically into what's going on within SharePoint, and specifically some of those file and page activities that are going on. So you can see that we've got a variety of different KPI names here under that specific service. So if we wanted to look at accessed files, and what might be those that are being accessed now. We can see there's a variety. The highest one in view here right now is called ACOM. So again, maybe I want to understand what's going on there from an access perspective. So as we would click into ACOM, this brings us into looking at a variety of entities as we can get into some more on the analytics side, see what might be available to us there. This will go ahead and load and show that access over time, specifically coming from the management activities. And then if we were to come over here and we want to see specifically within the SharePoint sites, we're looking at that entity, ACOM. We want to understand, again, what's happening here as far as the different services and the KPIs where this is being picked up. But the other important part, I think, to highlight here is we can now click directly into this view, which will pull up the SharePoint dashboard. And what you'll see is that site ACOM is automatically filtered for us, and it is now loading that data. So we're traversing all within ITSI, going from that service analyzer view that we first looked at here, where we're looking at, oh, I wonder what's going on at the file and page activities level. We're looking at accessed file. Within accessed file, we click on the ACOM site itself. That then went ahead and brought up this detail for us, as well as a navigation suggestion to go directly to this SharePoint overview dashboard. And that dashboard comes up where we've automatically filtered here. And what we're able to see here is the detail that we're after to try to understand all the different sites, the active files, active pages. And again, all of this we can click into for more detail. But what you can see is, again, this level of activity and what's going on. If we wanted to highlight that, deep dive more, we can do so, again, within these different files and see what's going on in these operations, see who's accessing these files and what they're doing with them specifically here. So again, just wanted to quickly show, again, that activity and how this can be used going from Service Analyzer all the way through to that level of detail, again, just within a few clicks. As we look at another example flow, I often like to show a glass table. And in this example, we've got the M365 Overview dashboard glass table. And you'll recall, again, a number of different elements on here, making it very simple to get quick and easy summary of information, all of which is critical to many different personas. One of the areas, again, that I'm really excited to have on here, and is one that we wanted to include for you, is in the security space. So down here, again, remember, each of these are clickable for more information. An area where many of our even small, medium, large, and enterprise size businesses are starting to focus more is information governance. So if I were to want to understand why did that just drop off to 43 from where it was prior, and get into some more of the specific details of exactly what is going on there, you can see all I did was one click, and now I have a much more clear understanding of what is going on and why is it that these KPIs have these thresholds set the way that they do, to go ahead and alert me to issues that are going on. Again, you can see the volumes here of what is going on. If you wanted to learn more information about the specific entity where this unusual external user file activity is happening, we provide that and make that available to you here. Again, this is very helpful to learn more about those actions, and actually about the activities and the actions you may or may not want to take immediately. Again, another highlight showing that workflow, going from the glass table, clicking on any one of these, but showing information governance, as again, this one just dropped off from 100 down to 43, clicking on it, being able to find this detail and showing that to you immediately. One of the last items I like to highlight is that of our documentation. So what you can see is, if you go out to Splunk Docs, is where you'll find a lot of the documentation on all of the ITSI content packs that are available to you today. Again, I wanted to highlight for you specific to Microsoft 365, and you'll see in here, again, everything from a little bit about the content pack, What are some of the release notes? How do you install and configure the content pack? How do you use the content pack for Microsoft 365? And then also a detailed KPI reference for the content pack. So again, there's a lot of information out here. There's a lot more even beyond this that you could find. But if you go to Splunk Docs and then search for the Microsoft 365 content pack, you'll find this documentation comes up.